What is going on, Nuggets Nation NBA fans? My name is Tom Leuthner. Welcome back to Nuggets Today, presented by Fan Arch. We got some topics to cover. The first thing that I want to hop into is Christian Braun officially being locked in as a Nugget, 5-year, 125 extension. A couple other guys got extended today. I know that we saw Dyson Daniels get extended and the contracts were close to the same, but Christian Braun deserved it. I mean, he earned his way up. I believe he was the 21st pick for Denver, a guy who wasn't a lottery pick. He wasn't expected to be this good and ended up winning Denver a championship as a bench player his first year. All I've said since I started this podcast is that he's a winner. I mean, there's nothing else to prove besides him being a winner at every single level. Won a championship in college, won championships in high school, came to the NBA off the bench his rookie year, being one of the most impactful players for Denver, wins a championship. I mean, he's deserved it. We see the increase in numbers throughout his first 3 years. I mean, you go back and look. 15.5 minutes per game is for his rookie year, 4.7 points, 2.4 rebounds a game, 0.8 assists. His next year, he comes in 20 minutes a game, 7.3 points, 3.7 rebounds, 1.6 assists. And then his third year, he becomes a starter. Obviously, KCP leaves, 15.4 points, 5.2 rebounds, 2.6 assists. Every single stat category he jumps in. He has been a guy who does everything. I mean, defensively, he's also one of Denver's top 3 players. Obviously, you had AG, who's probably the number one. Peyton Watson could be in that conversation, but he doesn't start, so the minutes are obviously not there. But CB might be the second starter defensively. I mean, Jamal, you can make the argument for. And then you look at the efficiency. I mean, three-point shooting throughout his first 3 years. His rookie year, 35% from three. His sophomore year, 38% from three. This past year, he shot just about 40% from three. .397, which is just about 4, obviously. He's one of the most efficient three-point shooters in the league, and all we've seen throughout this entire preseason that he continues to get better, and nothing slows down. He's probably going to emphasize his defensive role a little bit more this season just because Tim Hardaway Jr. is there. We'll probably see a jump in minutes for Julian Strawther, and Bruce Brown is going to get his minutes. So not that his minutes are going to drop necessarily, but we'll probably see him in more defensive-oriented lineups, and he's going to be the defensive player he was his rookie year. Now, do I think his points will drop drastically? No, but 15 points a game with the team that actually has a bench this year, I don't see happening. Maybe 12, but I think he deserves it. I know that people are going to say because his minutes or his points dropped, he wasn't worth it, but that doesn't mean everything. This is a team that actually has a bench now, so I think that he obviously deserves every single dollar that he got, but Denver is in a weird position, and that's what I want to get to now, which is Payne Watson, the first guy, not a deal. There's no deal done. The Rockets also didn't extend Tari Eason. So we see these young bench players not get the deals that they wanted, which am I stressed out? Am I nervous about it? Not really. I do think that Denver is going to wait, and I covered this a couple episodes ago. I think that Denver is going to wait to see how Payne Watson really is this year before they try to get a deal done. He's somebody who wasn't great offensively. There was nothing that he could really do that Denver saw, I guess, that they were like, oh, this guy's great. He took a jump offensively. His three-point shooting has been way better than what we've seen from him in any recent history at all. He looks better when it comes to putting the ball on the floor, which is also something that I think I got a little nervous about in general when it came to him being an actual offensive player. He wasn't able to shoot great. He wasn't able to put the ball on the floor. He wasn't able to finish by the rim. And all we've seen from him this preseason is him putting the ball on the floor, him finishing at the rim, him working in pick and rolls. So if he's the guy that's able to come off the bench, be a KD archetype kind of player where he's going to put the ball on the floor, score at the rim, but be able to dish it. The one pass throughout the preseason I saw him in the pick and roll with Jonas Valanciunas looked amazing. So I think that Denver's going to wait to see what he can do, but I also don't want them to, I don't want them to get their hopes up where it's like, Payne Watson could have been this, and then he wants more money than what we're able to offer him, which I think is the one thing that makes me nervous and could potentially happen is just another team giving more money to Payne Watson because they think he's worth it. But I also think it opens up certain things for Denver, and that's going to be the next topic. I mean, Cam Johnson, a guy that we just picked up in a trade, there's no contract extension talks from what I'm hearing, so it makes me a little nervous that Peyton Watson is, Denver's waiting on Peyton Watson, but obviously you wait to see if a guy like Cam Johnson's going to extend or if he doesn't want to extend or whatever happens. He's also a little bit older. He's late 20s. So Peyton Watson's obviously a lot younger than him, and you have the opportunity to try to maybe work a deal out for Cam Johnson if Peyton Watson gets more money elsewhere. I think that Denver's in a tough spot financially, and we obviously know that. That's all we've talked about is that if Peyton Watson and CB get their extensions, Denver's in a tough spot financially. And you don't want to be in another spot where you're paying 4 guys max contracts, which is where you were at with MPJ, which is the exact reason you got MPJ off the book. So if Peyton Watson ends up being good enough to get more money elsewhere, I guess you just let him walk. Like I said, it's a little nerve-wracking just because he's probably going to be a big part of this team this upcoming season. But I just think that, again, you're in a point where if that happens, you let him walk and you work on trying to extend Cam Johnson, who there's been zero talks about. And it's tough because he's probably going to be a guy who's big, but it's another situation where if that doesn't work out, then you let it go. You let it take its toll, I guess, because we've seen in preseason Cam Johnson not exactly what we do want to see. I mean, like, he's not making the shots that you thought he would make. His IQ is still there, and I think he's going to be a factor when it comes to not touching the ball. But I think that we expected so much more from Cam Johnson than what we've seen. So if he's not that guy and then you let that 2-year contract expire, then you let it expire and you have more money to sign other people. But I do think that it's going to be a situation of it's a race between Peyton Watson and Cam Johnson when the time comes. If you want to pay Peyton Watson this upcoming season, that means that in another year you're letting Cam Johnson walk. It's just that simple. So I am interested to see what Denver does this upcoming season when it comes to them too, or this upcoming offseason rather when it comes to them too. The last topic I want to talk is a topic I love, which is community talk, where it's anybody gives their opinion. I'll cover what people want to talk about and any comments that are down below. And KW Lau commented a couple episodes ago, what do I think of Yuki Kawamura? He said he has the vision, the passing ability, which I would assume is a perfect fit alongside Jokic. We've seen the fan favorite guys. Yuki's a fan favorite, right? And we all know that. Jeremy Lin was a fan favorite for the Knicks. Compu was a fan favorite for Denver. Bol was a fan favorite for Denver. They don't always work out, and Denver has that. I think that Aaron Gordon is the fan favorite right now. Yuki could be good. There's no reason to bring in a 5'9" point guard right now, right? And I think that Dinwiddie is a guy who I would target if I'm Denver. I think that Delano Banton is a guy I'll target if I'm Denver. But I also think that Denver might be waiting for a certain situation before they go out and sign somebody, just because I think that the GMs, I guess, are good enough to actually go ahead and realize the talent that's going to be out there eventually. So I think that maybe they were waiting for a day like today, or at the time this recording today, where all the people who weren't getting their contracts or extensions were talked about. Maybe you try to make a trade for a guy like Zeke Naji if somebody does want a person who's under contract for a semi-decent contract, I guess, which is a terrible contract for Denver. But Yuki could be good. I just don't see the real-life benefit of Yuki right now. An undersized point guard on a lineup that's a little undersized when you come to the bench lineup of guys like Tim Hardaway, Peyton Watson. Peyton Watson's an undersized power forward. We already know that. Deron Holmes probably isn't going to get a lot of minutes this year. I would rather get a guy like Banton or Dinwiddie who's a little bit bigger at the 1, just because you're playing Bruce Brown with them, you're playing Tim Hardaway with them, you're playing Peyton Watson with them at the 4, and then Jonas Valanciunas, who's not undersized necessarily, but Peyton Watson, Bruce Brown at the 2, Tim Hardaway at the 3, Julian Strawther potentially over there. So I just think it's an undersized lineup, and Yuki would not fit that lineup if you ask me. But that is all I got for you guys today, Nuggets Nation. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Basketball officially starts today, so I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about around the league for the first 2 games. Denver doesn't play for another, I believe, day or 2, so a little bit to talk about before the first game of the season, but I am super excited. So make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, leave a comment if you guys want me to cover anything before the first game of the season, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow.